Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com. I'm going to see Crystal Poche this morning. I am really excited about that, as a matter of fact. And ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Of course, our great sponsors here on the show. We appreciate them and I appreciate you patronizing them. So, big time shout out there. All right, y'all. LSU basketball today against Kentucky. I love being able to do this. I need to start doing this. I need to start doing this the night before we start, so I don't have to do it as we're doing it. But I can do this, and I can go watch LSU against Kentucky tonight, 8 o'clock, late tip on ESPN. So it's on the mothership. Tigers are a 6.5 point underdog in the game tonight. You know what else I have to do? I have to get rid of that blue because it's Kentucky blue. So let's do it like that instead. LSU against Kentucky tonight at the Maravich Center. 8 o'clock tip. It's interesting because Kentucky is obviously a really talented team, a team that we interviewed Matt McMahon earlier in the week on the show, and he kind of just casually threw out there that Kentucky could have 7 or 8 first rounders, which is true. I mean, that's the way John Calipari has recruited. There was the SEC network or the SEC, the league did a graphic for the NBA All-Star game. It was like more All-Stars than any other conference in basketball for the NBA All-Star game. It was a Kentucky graphic. It was like 8 All-Stars. There was like 7 from Kentucky. Anyway, but they've earned it. I mean, Cal's recruited at a great level, and they're super talented. The national championships have evaded him, just the one back in 2011 with Anthony Davis. But Kentucky's really talented. They score. They could score, but oddly, when you look statistically, LSU and Kentucky both average 77 points a game. The big difference is Kentucky allows 13 more points per game than LSU. So LSU allows 74 a game. Kentucky allows 88 points per game. That's been their major bugaboo, is Kentucky is just not defended well at all this year. So this is the first time LSU and Kentucky have played. But the big yo is that after they lost to Tennessee, where they gave up 103 points. So if you weren't following, so Kentucky lost back-to-back games to Florida and Tennessee. They lost to Florida 94-91, so they gave up 94 to Florida, and that was at home. Then they allowed 103 at home to Tennessee, the most points they ever allowed at Rupp Arena. It was 103-92. After that, they bounced back and beat Vanderbilt 109-77. Then they lost to Gonzaga 89-85. And since that Gonzaga loss, they played Ole Miss and Auburn. Granted, dramatic step down in competition. Not Auburn, but Ole Miss. They beat Ole Miss 75-63, so they held Ole Miss to 73. And then the big one was when they went to Auburn Arena this past weekend, or whatever they call it now, on Saturday, and they walloped Auburn pretty good and beat them 70-59. Really, the final score doesn't say that. I mean, they beat them by double digits on the road, but it really was the defensive effort. It was holding Auburn in their building to 59 points. So the real question here is, has Kentucky found a little something defensively? Maybe it's just effort. Maybe it's just buy in and give a darn. But we'll find out tonight. LSU and Kentucky, 8 o'clock tip. Kentucky's a 6.5 point favorite. And we'll see if LSU should be a great crowd. I mean, look, when LSU plays Kentucky, it's always the biggest crowd of the year. People show up to the Maravich Center for that game. So there's no advantage, and odds makers will tell you there's no advantage like home court in basketball. It doesn't affect a game because the crowd gets going and it can dramatically it can induce a run, a defensive stop, all that sort of stuff. In football, yes, I mean, you have 100,000 people screaming at Tiger Stadium. Absolutely, that matters. But if the offense does something well and the crowd stops cheering, well, you've just neutralized that event. The continuous, flow of basketball can change that. So anyway, LSU and Kentucky tonight at the Maravich Center. We'll see if LSU can go get themselves a win here tonight. Be great to see. Okay, we'll say some good mornings. You know the drill. Fire away if you got questions. As always, get them in. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We welcome our LinkedIn audience as well. Thanks for being there. Tim Gotro said, good morning. Your side piece came in a bit grumpy yesterday. Everything okay? Maybe send Jake some flowers or take him to dinner at a really nice restaurant. So had Jake Crane on the show yesterday. We call him our side piece because a few, I don't know, man. It was some point during the season. Somebody stood us up on the show. I know what it was. I know what it was. So we had Sean Salisbury booked, and something came up in a pinch. Sean was traveling. That's what it was. Sean was traveling, and his flight or whatever got delayed, and so he was going to be in the air during our segment when he was supposed to be home, but his flight got delayed, so he was going to be in the air. Well, we didn't find out until like the start of the show. So when you're counting on 30 minutes of that content, right? Of football content right there. And then all of a sudden it's gone and you've already started your show. It's a little bit of scramble mode. So I told Moose, I was like, hey, holler at Jake, see if he can come on. Crane, J Boy. And sure enough, he did. And he's like, awesome. And he's always great. I love him. And he's like, I'll always be your side piece. I don't mind. He's so good. Zachary Hardy, good morning. Have you tried Woodford Reserve Double Oak? Yeah, it's good. If you like an oaky whiskey, my brother-in-law loves Woodford Double Oak. Woodford isn't my favorite, but yeah, it's a really good bourbon. Brian Wynn, good morning. Larry Garner, good morning. Russell Jory from Raleigh, North Carolina. Christian, good morning. About to switch over to watch it on LinkedIn just because. Okay. Well, before you do, Christian, please smash the like button on YouTube. I appreciate that. Brett DeGrow, what's going on, man? Cozy Cotters, good morning. Excited to watch Tigers whip up on the Cats. Interesting because both are cats. Tigers are cats and Wildcats are cats. But I do understand what you mean. Yes. I'm hopeful. You go play your best game of the year, see if you can get a win. And I know I mentioned this over the weekend. I'll say it again. Tonight's game feels like house money for LSU. We looked at that 5-game stretch. I know the players and the coaches aren't looking at it that way, but we looked at that 5-game stretch and it was like, man, if you could find a way to get one, out of this 5-game stretch, you set yourself up to be able to make a run because you're probably going to be favored in your last 5 games. And sure enough, when winning the game at South Carolina has taken that pressure off. Now you can, even if you lose this game to Kentucky, you're going to be favored in your final 5 games. If you can go 4-1 in that stretch, well, awesome. You're going to be 9-9 in the league, and you're going to be in the NIT, and that's a real win for this team. Lawrence Burley, good morning. # Team Drew. Thank you, man. James McKinney, Benton Troxler. Morning, Matt. McMahon's doing a lot with very little. This line would have been plus 22 months ago. Well, yeah. Well, especially considering, I guess. Sorry. It, especially considering that was before Jalen Cook was eligible. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know that it would have been 20, but then again, Kentucky also at that point we didn't know was going to be atrocious defensively the way they have been. So, yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Timothy Fontenot, good morning. Damon Gilmore, Brant Robin, morning. Fun question. Who would win the matchup, let's say, out of 10 times? Skeens versus Cruz during their final year at LSU? I'm sure we saw that in inter squads. I mean, if Dylan got 3 hits, that would be pretty incredible, right? I mean you're batting 300, which is far below the 426 or whatever he batted a year ago. But Skeens was something, man. So was Dylan. Jussie Dylan Cruz homered off of Cole Henry. first swing at Nationals camp, first swing against live pitching, he homered opposite field off Cole Henry. William Moore, good morning. Official Friday. What should be the real expectation for LSU football in 2024 playoff? Yeah, man. Like, I know that's going to sound crazy because we just watched a team have one of the worst defenses in the country, and you're losing the Heisman winner and 2 first-round picks at receiver, and I understand that. But you've also won 9 games back-to-back seasons, regular season, right? You went 9-3 in back-to-back regular seasons. So, if Vegas has LSU's projected win total over under 9.5, so if you go over and get to 10-2, you go 10-2, you're in the playoff. You're in 10-2, you're in the 12-team playoff. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's realistic. If it was still a 4-team playoff, I would tell you I don't think that's realistic. But a 12-team playoff, yeah. If they're not in a 12-team playoff in any given year, I think that that's a disappointment. I mean, the way that you recruit, the resources you have, like, you should be in the top 12. I know that's not realistic. I mean, there's been years where LSU's finished unranked or finished ranked in the mid-teens or the 20s. Yeah, and then you're outside of the top 12. But in those years, we've been disappointed. So, yeah, I mean, I think an expectation of this team being 10-2 um, is fair. Like, Christian live from LinkedIn now. Thank you, Christian, for a man, a man, a man of his word. I said Quentin Brakebill owned a business in New Braunfels. Let's connect. Very cool. Oh, look at that. Quentin Brakebill, morning from New Braunfels. Can't wait to hear Calipari's comments after the game. That's all. Look, we're connecting Christian and Quentin there. So New Braunfels is where Schlitterbahn is, correct? I remember years ago when I was working at WIBR, we had our traffic was provided by Shadow Traffic, and Shadow had to deal with Schlitterbahn, and so all the reads were your Schlitterbahn traffic report in New Braunfels, the Schlitterbahn water park. Anyway, I don't know if it's still there. I'm sure it is. Hope it's doing well. Richie B, good morning. Don't tie yourself to ratings, right? LOL, Bama's burning. I don't get it. Oh, sorry. Don't tie yourself to star ratings. Oh, that makes sense. Yes. So for those that missed it, we did another Bama is burning yesterday. And so Bama got 2 more commitments via the portal. And I told you this. I told you, like, they're going to get commitments out of the portal. They're not going to field a roster with 40 players. Of course, they're going to get commitments out of the portal because they've got to get their scholarship numbers up. The point that I said was the players they get will not be as talented or accomplished as the players that they lose. And Bama lost 33 players to the portal, whatever it was. And I'm going every time they get a commitment, I'm comparing it to the person they lost. So, for example, yesterday they got a tight end commit. Amari Niblack left for Texas. Very talented, top 10 tight end in the country when he signed with Alabama, was the 3rd or 4th leading pass catcher a year ago. He's now at Texas. They bring in, I think his name is Josh Cuevas out of Washington. Josh Cuevas was a no-star coming out of high school. Did not have a profile on 247. No-star prospect. Goes to Cal Poly, then transfers to Washington last year, caught 4 passes at Washington. So you've got Amari Niblack, who was a top 10 tight end in the country when he signed with Alabama and was their 3rd or 4th leading pass catcher a year ago. And he's gone to Texas, and you've replaced him with a guy that was a no-star recruit that caught 4 balls a year ago. They brought in the other one was Keon Sabb, who's a safety that they got from Michigan. You might think, oh, Michigan, yeah, and who's a 4-star. He was like the number 96th overall player in the country, so top 100 player. He, in 2 years, started 5 games at Michigan. So he was mostly a backup. 2 years, started 5 games at Michigan. He's replacing Caleb Downs, who was the number 1 safety, number 8 overall player in the country coming out of high school, and was the number 1 transfer portal prospect in the entire country, who led Alabama with 107 tackles last year, the first freshman to lead Alabama in tackles since at least 1970, and was a first-team All-American. You went from Caleb Downs to a backup at Michigan. Like, every single spot on the field, they are worse than they were a month ago before Nick Saban retired. Wendell Norman, good morning. Kelly Gross, good morning. Bart St. Germain, good morning. Brant Roban, everyone's going to lose midweek games, but how about Big Bad Wake Forest going down last night? I'm here for it. Yeah, I'm not. Candidly, I haven't looked at like baseball scores from last night, so I didn't know Wake Forest lost. And I'm with you, but you know how I feel about midweek games. Whatever. But sure, I'm with you. I'm here for it. YouTube, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. LinkedIn, go ahead and connect. Maybe repost this. We'd appreciate that greatly. As always, we are brought to you by our friends over at Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Got the Brock logo up here. Appreciate Brock as always. If you need an orthopedist, they're just the best. Remember the Brock Foundation as well. Brock Foundation does great work. Among other things, they provide physical therapy and other medical services to high schools around the greater Baton Rouge area. It's a great resource, and they do awesome work. We appreciate Brock and the Brock Foundation. Of course, as always, Hudco Roofing, give us a shout at 364-1007, 364-1007. If you had hail damage as a result of that storm a couple of weeks ago, or think you might have had hail damage, or you know you had hail, we'd love to come check it out. Give us a shout, 364-1007, 364-1007, 364-1007, or hudcoroofing.com. All right. Get back to it here. I'll find my spot again. Okay, Brian Broom, Deborah Cowart, Bubba Smith, Charlie Cavell, Jason Kraft, Tommy Primo, Bubba Tatum. Why do we go back to Kentucky colors? We didn't go back to Kentucky colors, Bubba. We went to Brock colors. Brock is blue and white, so that's why. But we can, if you want, we can just be a purple show today. I'm good with it. I'm sure they would understand. I'm sure Brock would be on board with it today. Lowell Cormier, good morning. It's interesting how it changed the bubble there. I bet I could change that. I don't know. Bailey C. Saints are finally acting like there's urgency. I like the hires. I like what they've done as well. That looks pink. Did I choose the wrong one? Did I choose the ass? Oh, I did. I chose ASCII Rock. That's why. My bad. But the purple one. My bad. I chose pink, not purple. My bad. Yeah, I like the Saints hires. I like what Dennis Allen did, and I can listen. If you're gonna criticize when criticism and blame is due, then you have to also be willing to give praise when praise is warranted. And I think Dennis Allen's done a great job hiring the staff. I think Clint Kubiak was a smart decision, and trying to go pluck a branch off the Shanahan tree. And I think getting out of the way and allowing Kubiak to hire his staff, guys he's comfortable with, guys he knows, completely just changing things up from what you have been offensively is a good thing. So let that man cook the way he wants to and needs to cook. So yes, I agree with you. Robert Mason, morning from down the bayou in Thibodaux. All right. Cajun Country, morning, Matt. Will we ever see a day when college football conference championship games go away? They've been meaningless for years unless you are ULL. Then it's amazing. I think if they ever go away, they're going to have to replace the revenue. That's the problem, right? So those are it's another TV window. It's another gate receipt for the conference. So as long as the conferences are making money hand over fist on them, unless and until they find a path to replace that revenue, then no, they're not going to go away. However, I know this is like such a foreign thing when I say it to people, but conference championship games are pointless. They're meaningless. Like you play a regular season, you don't need a conference championship game. Like in the NFL, you play a 17-game regular season. You don't then have division championship games. You play the season to determine a division winner. And you're going to say, well, what if there's a tie? Well, you have tiebreakers. That's why tiebreakers exist in every sport, to determine who the champion is if you need to break ties. So, I mean, the Saints and the Bucks this year both were 9-8. They won. They split their head-to-head matchups. Well, they had other tiebreakers that determined the Bucks won the division. So, okay, that's how it goes. It's more about, like, I'm less interested in a conference championship game and more interested about going to the playoff and winning. Antron Hemingway, good morning. Let's get that W at home. All right. Hey, Dad, good morning. Devin Kelly, good morning. Good day to be a Tiger. Still living in the golden age of LSU fandom. Who would have think we'd have 2 Heismans in 5 years? That was a check the box thing, right? A bucket list check the box thing that a lot of people never thought they'd live to see. Now you got Burrow and Daniels. It's almost like once you've opened the door to it, you realize the possibility. Look at Bama too. I mean, do you realize until, like, Mark Ingram was Alabama's first ever Heisman winner, in that program's history, they never had a Heisman winner until Mark Ingram. And then you had Ingram and Derrick Henry and Bryce Young and Devontae Smith. So now they got 4. So your 2 running backs, a quarterback, and a receiver. So yeah, man, it's almost like once you break the seal, and acknowledge and understand what's possible, it can happen. Same with national championships for LSU. Brett Gidry, can you give a shout out to my dad, Cyrus? I know he's sitting on the patio drinking coffee. Loves your show. All right, Cyrus Gidry. Good morning, Cyrus. Brett says good morning. And thank you so much for watching every day, man. We appreciate you. Got my coffee as well. So cheers to you, Cyrus. And go Tigers. Thanks for watching. Ray Langlois. Morning, Scone. Happy hump day. James Avery, good morning. Lowell Cormier. I'm intimidated by the new fancy microphone. Don't be intimidated, Lowell. You should be excited because now you can hear me better. Jay Borden, good morning. Bailey C. Might be going tonight. Is Kentucky good? Kentucky's ranked 17th in the country. They got a whole bunch of talent on their team. They can score the basketball. Their problem has been they haven't defended a lick. They allow 88 points a game, which is 13 per game more than LSU allows. But in their last 2 outings, in particular this past Saturday at Auburn, they held Auburn to 59 points. So if Kentucky has figured some things out defensively, or maybe it's just they've ramped up the defensive effort and energy, that's a different team. That's a team that can win the national championship if they play defense like that. But it remains to be seen. Jay Borden, Bailey C. Oh, sorry, I read that one. Julio Mendez, good morning. Jim Arsenault, good morning. Dustin Abear, I don't know what that is. Irfan Sayad, Bob Poole, Kenneth Westbrook, what's going on? Trivia Carter, nice of you to join us, sir. Bradley and Graphia, Taylor Hudson, good morning, y'all. Good morning. Christian said, can we get the Hudco jingle singing to us through the new setup? You know what? I think we can. Give me 1 second here. I can't believe we haven't done that yet. All right, hang on. We're connected. Now let me go to my files. All right, hang on. All right, this should be it. Hang on. This should be it. All right, let's see if y'all can hear it. When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone is Ontario. All you need is Hudco. Call Hudco Roofing. 364-1407. Please tell me y'all heard that. That was the first time I've played something via Bluetooth on the new setup. Aside from whenever we called my dad very quickly that day, Ontario. But please tell me y'all heard that. Could someone just confirm in the comments? Just say, like, yes, you heard it, or no, you didn't. It was glitchy. What's going on? I'm so bummed by that. I don't know why that sound quality was bad. It's the same with this hotkey. Every time I play a song or something like that. Hmm, that's a bummer. It's a bummer. Anyway, I don't know what's going on with that, man. Oh well. Okay, I got 4 minutes left. Let's get rolling here and finish up. Uh, Brant said, "I know you don't care, and I love your Bama is burning segments. If Bama beats LSU this year, that fan base is coming to you with pitchforks." Yeah, I don't care, and I've said that. I have said that so many times. I don't care if they beat. I mean, I do. I want LSU to win the game, obviously, but it's not about LSU having any type of dominance or anything like that in this game. Or the only point is that I'm making is Alabama's run is over. Like they're not gonna be. They're not gonna win. Like the absurdity of losing 18 SEC games in 17 years, like, that's not happening anymore. Like, just taking a Sharpie and scribbling in 11 wins in the regular season for Alabama and being stunned when they go 10 and 2, that's over. Like, they're gonna look more like LSU looks, and they're gonna be good, and they're gonna have good players, and they're gonna win a lot of games and probably make a 12-team playoff, and so but it's just not gonna be it's never gonna be what it was. They ain't winning a national championship, I'll tell you that much. Um, Daniel Holden, more Matt, who do you think has been LSU's best catcher so far? Well, it's only been 4 games, and they've all kinda played a bit, but, um, I mean, Brady Neal has been great offensively, obviously, but then so is Milazzo. Milazzo's 3 for 4 at the plate. Um, but he's also only had 4 at bats. Um, they've all 3 of them have been awesome at pegging runners, but, um, so I mean, I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna catch Neal and use Milazzo as a defensive replacement. They're gonna DH Travinsky, and when they wanna get Travinsky work behind the plate, he'll catch. So, I mean, I think all 3 are gonna play. Let's see, a couple more minutes. UB1, good morning. Roger, Dodger, Matt, if this is Nick's guy, why the mass exodus? I don't know that it's Nick's guy, and it doesn't matter. Like, if you're a player, you didn't go to play um, for Kalen DeBoer. You went to Tuscaloosa to play for Nick Saban. JJ, good morning from Shreveport. All right, JJ, thanks for being there. Rocky Killian, Abner Neal, Steve Menard. Appreciate you for being there. Oh, there's all the comments about the jingle. Um, Tara Walker said, "Good morning, my guy. Any current or incoming LSU football players have a desire to play a second sport, as in basketball or baseball?" Um, I think. Am I mistaken? Or do they sound a basketball guy that was going to try to play football as well? I don't think so, man. I mean, not none that are obvious to me anyway. Not that I'm aware of. Let's see. All right, last one. Mark Vitanovich said there's a 7'2" Croatian freshman on Kentucky Wildcats that has been concerned for LSU tonight at the PMAC. Well, LSU's ability to defend the rim, protect the rim, and to rebound, yes, that could be a problem. The and the kid from Kentucky, they just like they were concerned about whether or not he was going to be eligible this year, but they got him eligible. I'm trying to remember his name. Hang on. What's 8 o'clock? I gotta go. Zvonimir Ivisic. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, y'all. I got to get going. Thanks as always for watching. If you're new, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Facebook. Like the Matt Moscona page. Share the post. We appreciate y'all as always for being here. Shout out to Brock. Oh wait. Oh man. I don't know why that went away. There we go. Shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Restored motion. Going to see Crystal Poche actually right now. I got a 9 a.m. So gonna go let her work all the demons out of my back. And I'm feeling good though, man. It's just if you got pain, I could not recommend it highly enough, man. Just book a session. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. LSU Daily's already live. We'll see you for AFR 3. Peace.